Welcome to the Hawthorne Studio. My name is Jessica, and today we will be creating a crystal clear room spray, body, linen, and hand sanitizer spray using one simple recipe. This spray recipe is a 4-in-1 powerhouse that is gentle enough to be used on the skin, in addition to most household surfaces and linens. To create our spray, we will need the following ingredients. First, you will need to pick your fragrance. You can use either essential oils or fragrance oils, however, you will need to verify that your fragrance is skin and room spray safe. To check this, look at the IFRA safety data sheet if you are using fragrance oils, or go to eocalc.com if you are using essential oils. Next, we will need to add an emulsifier. Today, we will be using polysorbate 80, which is an emulsifier that will stop our ingredients from separating. This cannot be substituted with polysorbate 20. The problem with polysorbate 20 is that it makes the formula cloudy and more separation is possible, whereas polysorbate 80 will give us a crystal clear appearance with a stronger bind. The bulk of our spray will consist of perfumer's alcohol, which is a 200 proof alcohol that is denatured to taste terrible, making it legal. You can replace this with 190 proof Everclear vodka, but keep in mind 190 proof vodka is illegal in quite a few states, so if you are selling across state lines, it is better to just go with perfumer's alcohol. I will have some great options available from reputable suppliers in the description box below. You cannot replace 190 or 200 proof alcohol with rubbing alcohol or a 99 proof alcohol. The results will not be the same. Using a 190 or 200 proof alcohol will give our spray the capability of disinfecting surfaces, linens, and skin, and it is the start ingredient to achieving a crystal clear formula. To dilute the alcohol, you will also need either witch hazel or distilled water. You can choose either one, but witch hazel is the better option because of the natural ethyl alcohol found in witch hazel. Check the ingredients of your witch hazel to make sure it is not diluted with water or other ingredients. As a result, using water may result in a cloudier appearance. Please keep in mind if you are using water instead, the water needs to be distilled. Do not use spring, bottle, or tap water. Distilled water is very cheap and only costs a few cents at the grocery store. Lastly, our secret ingredient will be vegetable glycerin. Vegetable glycerin will make our spray scent last longer. It will also help our spray moisturize the skin if you are using it as a hand sanitizer as well, which will be a key ingredient to combating the harshness of our alcohol. Let's start mixing our ingredients. It is important to mix these ingredients in order, so please follow my steps carefully. For today's DIY, I will be basing my formula off of 3.5 ounces. You can replace 3.5 ounces for whatever amount your spray bottles hold. First, pour 10% of 3.5 ounces as fragrance. 10% of 3.5 ounces is 0.35 ounces of fragrance. Next, you will need to add double the amount of fragrance as polysorbate 80 in a 1:2 ratio. Since we added 0.35 ounces of fragrance, we will add 0.70 ounces of polysorbate 80. To achieve this number, simply multiply your fragrance by 2. In this scenario, 0.35 ounces multiplied by 2 is 0.70 ounces. Mix the fragrance oil and polysorbate 80 together first until it looks like a clear gel and until any signs of an oil slick texture is dissipated. This may take a few minutes of stirring. Now it is time to add our alcohol. We will add 70% of 3.5 ounces as alcohol, which is 2.45 ounces of alcohol. Keep in mind, if you intend to use this base to disinfect, the CDC recommends a minimum of 60% alcohol, so be careful if you are making any adjustments to this formula. Mix together the poly 80 and fragrance until it becomes clear and well incorporated with the alcohol. Let's add in the water or witch hazel next. You can use either one, just pick one though. I will be using witch hazel. Add 20% of 3.5 ounces as witch hazel or distilled water, which is 0.70 ounces. Stir until it becomes clear. At this point, if your formula does not look clear, continue to add a few drops of alcohol or witch hazel until the mixture becomes clear. Keep in mind you may need to adjust your formula based on your fragrance, which plays a heavy role on the clarity of your base. I personally prefer to use 200 proof over 190 proof for this reason, but experiment with what you have. Some fragrances will become cloudy regardless of what you do. Now it is time to add our vegetable glycerin. You can adjust this amount to taste, or you can leave it out completely. Personally, I like to add 1% of my recipe as vegetable glycerin, but you can adjust this based on preference. If you are using water, I recommend adding 1% of your total ounces as Optifin ND, which is a water-soluble preservative. However, if you choose to use witch hazel instead, you do not need to add a preservative. Since this formula uses alcohol as our main component, it is good practice to let the mixture rest for a minimum of 7 days for the alcohol smell to dissipate and to bind to the fragrance oil. Since we are using perfumer's alcohol, the scent will be very strong and a little bit will go a long way. That's it! Now you have the knowledge to make a crystal clear room, linen, body, and hand sanitizer base that will help protect and disinfect surfaces, linens, hands, and body. For an alcohol-free option, follow the same steps in the tutorial, but instead of using perfumer's alcohol, replace it with 90% witch hazel as your base. Keep in mind, this will result in a cloudy formula, but the polysorbate 80 will at least stop the fragrance oils from separating. In addition, if you remove the perfumer's alcohol, this recipe will no longer have its disinfecting properties. Feel free to adjust any of these numbers to taste. One last tip, if you're looking for a deodorizing effect for linens and room sprays, add in a teaspoon of baking soda to your formula. It will make the base cloudy, but it will settle over time and become clear. Shake before use. If you are using baking soda, do not apply this base to skin or body because the baking soda is an irritant to skin. Subscribe to my channel for more DIYs for small businesses, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified for more DIY tutorials. You can also follow my Instagram at Hawthorne Company, and my website is hawthornecompany.com. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, loves!